Welcome back to Truth Hurts, where we expose corrupt politicians, lying corporate media. I'm Jake Duesenberg, your host. Welcome to the show today. We got a good one for you. I think this show has the potential to be one of our great shows.
I think so.
Okay, I might be wrong on this one, but I think you're in for something really cool. A victory. How about a victory? Do you like victories? We're going to be sick of winning around here. Speaking of which, MAGA Jesse, how you doing there, buddy? Welcome back to the studio.
Oh, yeah, I am doing good. And, yeah, we do have a lot of really good things to get into, and it's nice to finally have a victory. And, we were able to pull that off in Itasca County. We'll be getting into that victory, how we were able to defeat this Keith Ellison lawyer and chase him out of Itasca County in the Iron Range. That is a huge story. It sets an example for how people can follow this in the future. We'll also be talking about frontline worker pay. We'll be talking about Royce White's campaign and a update on Nicole Mitchell. And obviously she was supposed to have a court case hearing, and we'll be getting into all of the details surrounding Nicole Mitchell. I see we already got Tucker in the comments. He says, "Good afternoon, everyone. Listening at work, just went on break." So we've got Tucker, and yeah, guys, make sure to tune in. Make sure your comments are in the chat so we know what you guys are thinking about what we're talking about here.
Especially on Rumble. That's the place that we read the most, but locals as well. Maybe we get to YouTube. Run the dials as always, Mr. Deep State himself. Dawson, how you doing there, buddy?
It's me. I'm good. My legs are sore. My back is tender, and we're ready for a good show.
No one even knows what you're talking about there and why. You know, we had a on-site filming yesterday, 5 hours, and
right.
People are like, why is this guy sore in those areas?
If you guys want to see me in a big cyborg camera suit, then make sure you subscribe on the locals page so that we can get out there and do some fun little recordings in
I
person.
like that. Yeah. And by the way, we could show them that equipment today, maybe on camera.
What?
Maybe not. Okay. Reading your comments at home is Mr. Liberty. Wait, where is he? He's not here. What?
Oh.
He's not here? It's
Nothing
his
yet.
first day on the job. First day on the job, he's late. Mr. Liberty Longbeard, our new regular. All right. We're going to have to continue the show without him, apparently. Luckily, we have the support of great sponsors like Warren Wessel of Keller Williams Realty. Now, listen, if you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, you want somebody you can trust, you got to go to my friend. I'm not just saying my friend because I've met him once or twice and he's a sponsor. I have known Warren for over a decade. This guy is awesome. He's not only a great realtor, he also sings in my church choir. Give Warren a call at 612-419-7453. And if you're buying a home through Warren, you might as well give the good guys at John Galt Mortgage a chance at financing your home. This is a Liberty-based company that probably will give you a better rate than most of the others because really they're in business to actually promote the ideas of liberty, not so much as to make a ton of profit. Not that profit's bad. I'm just saying this is kind of a company for them to give back to the movement of liberty. It's great. I love it. And you can go to their Facebook and other social media just to see that these guys really, like, it's 90% political ads. Like, they're not really pushing out their business as much as they're trying to make points in politics. That's what I love about them. But it's a real legit company. Go to johngaltmortgage.com. Okay, getting right into it. Jesse, you weren't here in studio on Tuesday because as I found this out on Tuesday morning. I think it was Tuesday morning. Maybe it was Monday night.
Yep.
It was Monday night. You're like, hey, I got to go do a thing in Itasca. That's a random one. I just got to. Now, if you're not from Minnesota or you don't know the geography that well in Minnesota, Itasca County is about 2.5, 3 hours north of the Twin Cities. Okay. So we call that God's country. Okay. You get not that far out of the Twin Cities, and the liberal zombie apocalypse stops.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you see those Trump flags, and you see high gun ownership, outdoorsmen, big fishermen. Like, it's a great. And by the way, I think personally, the further up north you go, the prettier it gets, especially if you kind of hugging on the east side of the north part. So anyhow, this is Grand Rapids is the county courthouse, the seat of the county government. And you went up there because something big was brewing in Itasca County. Go ahead and tell the folks what was going on.
Right. It was a very, very interesting story because nobody was covering it in the entire state. I was informed about it by a local patriot in Itasca County who sent me a text saying, nobody is talking about this story, Jesse. We need some exposure on this. And I said, sure, let me do some digging and see what I can find into it. And I found even more on top of what we had already anticipated for and expected and knew. So in Itasca County, they were nominating a Keith Ellison lawyer to become the new county attorney. It was looking like this was all just going to sneak by. It was under everybody's radar until I decided to expose on actionforliberty.com, and we exposed how this guy, first of all, doesn't even live in Itasca County. He wants $185,000 a year, which is $25,000 more than the previous county attorney got. So he was trying to demand a huge salary. He used to work for Keith Ellison. He still works for Keith Ellison in the Attorney General's office. He endorsed Keith Ellison in 2022, and he was nominated illegitimately. So we had plenty of reasons for why we thought that this nomination...
Explain that real quick.
Yep.
How was he... First of all, I had someone respond to our show the other day. They go, I thought we voted for county attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do, right? So
Right.
explain why this happened, why it was a nomination.
Yep.
And then what were the rules they didn't follow?
Right. So Maddie Adam, who was the predecessor for this position, she used to be the Itasca County attorney. She was nominated by Tim Walz to join the 9th Judicial Circuit as a judge. Everybody that was in Itasca County that was really following the politics understood that she was a liberal, that she was always asking for salary increases, that she was a part of the swamp. But unfortunately, because it's a nonpartisan position, it's very hard to be able to expose that to people and make sure that people fully understand that what's going on there. So you're right. Normally, this is an elected position. And Maddie Adams, she was elected in 2022, re-elected in 2022. Once her position became open, that's what created the current vacancy that is currently going on in Itasca County. So because of that vacancy, the County Board of Commissioners are obligated to fill that vacancy. As I understand it, actually, through conversation with the county assessor and through conversation with other people in the county, it sounds as if there might have been a change to state law so that an election can be held. They are currently debating that option right now within the county as well. I think there's several different options that they're going to get into, and we'll get into that in just a little bit here. But normally this is an elected position. They are, but because this was a random withdrawal, it was unexpected. So the County Board of Commissioners were obligated with finding a new county attorney, and that's why they began their interview search. And all of a sudden, James Osted, a county attorney from Lake of the Woods, who's really a Keith Ellison guy, applied for the job. Somehow he found the job listing, and it wasn't until the conservative patriots of Itasca County rose up, and next thing you know, he withdraws his nomination. So we got big things going on. Let's go ahead and pull up that article there, Dawson, so people can see exactly what went on, because as you can see in that picture right there, there was about 35 of us who showed up to the Itasca County Commissioners meeting, and this was something that I think they did not anticipate. They didn't realize how much momentum we had been building on this, because following our story, we reached out to Action for Liberty supporters in Itasca County, the Itasca County GOP, and other patriots within Itasca were spreading the word themselves. We were going to even fill up the next meeting even bigger. So we had created a lot of pressure, and things were moving in the right direction, so much so that the county attorney nominee, James Osted, decided to withdraw his name from the nomination. So go ahead and scroll down a little bit there, Dawson, and people can see right there on ICTV, which that's the organization that it's kind of like the C-SPAN for Itasca County. They put together all of the government meetings. They have all of the city council meetings, and it's actually a very good, useful website that I found a lot of cool things on. But they put together this because James Osted, apparently he had reached out to the county administrator, Brett Skiles. Brett Skiles had been the one to let ICTV know that James Osted said that after careful consideration, he has decided to remove his name from consideration of appointment to the vacant county attorney position, and that he's confident that the county board will make the best decision for Itasca County residents and appreciates being considered for the appointment. So we chased him out of Itasca County. It's unbelievable. Usually you can see when this pressure goes on, Some people back down and some people continue to fight. These county commissioners understood what was going on. We got one of the county commissioners, Corey Smith. He voted in favor with us. He was saying, I am 100% opposed to the nomination of Osted, which was very exciting to see because that meant that we had one commissioner already with us. We needed to convince 2 more. We were well on our way of making that happen. I thought that we were going to convince all 5 by the end of this. So I think that Osted saw the writing on the wall, and he decided to withdraw before he got embarrassed in front of the entire county.
Hold on. The show, what we do in the show and what makes us different than everyone else is we are political operatives, so we got to explain them. That is not at all what happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the public is seeing.
Right.
Oh, Osted decided, I'm going to be the big man here and just say, I withdraw my nomination. That's not what happened. We'd be lying. This is not the truth hurts if that's what we told you really happened.
Yo.
What happened was you and those patriots, 30-some patriots, show up and made it politically toxic for them to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know what? And this is why this is so damn important. We're watching the weaponized Hennepin County prosecutor, right? Basically letting criminals go off free, you know? Just look at the crime reports at all the water fountains in Minneapolis. It's insane what's going on right now. See, that was a good joke, huh?
I get it, yeah.
You guys got it. So, no offense, by the way. They're letting off all these criminals. Meanwhile, Trooper Longbeard being overly charged, right? Luckily, that one got saved, you know, the final hour. By the way, it wasn't Moriarty's decision. It was really the political toxicity of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have a Keith Ellison loyalist. I mean, the guy literally like endorsed Keith Ellison. Like Ellison didn't. Ellison's far on the left of the Democrat Party.
Right.
So I'm worried about what this guy would have done as a county attorney in a red area. And by the way, this is a problem. I think people have to understand. Sherburne County, another deep red area of Minnesota, literally you got a young patriot, Walker's his name, being prosecuted in that county for some bullshit gun charge. They're saying he's got this ghost gun, doesn't have a serial number on it. It's the most bullshit case ever, and they want to stick him in prison for it.
Yep.
We've had his mom on the show. It's a tragic case. This is what happens if these leftists get appointed in high gun ownership counties, plus the things that will happen to law enforcement and the hardened criminals, the people that really should be behind bars. What happens to these guys? These are the stakes that are at play. And so what happens is you guys, Jesse, I don't know why you just said that because it's not what happened, right? This is what the public, they want you to see it.
It was the pressure.
It's the pressure.
No doubt.
It's no doubt the pressure. It's politically toxic for all these county commissioners who are politicians to stand and die on this hill. They don't want to die on this hill. And so that's why you were able to do this in such a short amount of time. And it's a huge victory. I think people have to understand that.
Yeah, definitely. Pressure and exposure. Those were the 2 keys to this victory because if it wasn't for exposing him for his liberal record, this wouldn't have happened. If it wasn't for the pressure that went on, this wouldn't have happened. And I think you're right that it became too toxic. And even the county commissioner, Venema, who was a part of the candidate search committee that interviewed these candidates, it even became to the point where he told me after the meeting, he said that he was not aware that Jim Osted endorsed Keith Ellison in 2022. And I told him I was hoping that some of the things that I provided in that article was new for you. I was hoping that this was information that you weren't aware of. Because if you did know about this stuff and if you were aware of these things before you chose to nominate him, that's a big problem. So it was very interesting that, I think you're right that it became politically too toxic for them to continue to support this because the conservatives in Itasca County are now full aware of what's going on. And Dawson, let's go ahead and go back to that interview because you had asked me about where I found there to be a violation. Dawson, try to find where I say Minnesota Statute 375.08. I have it linked in there.
By the way, as you're finding that, True Seeker says
right there.
Benton County Attorney was appointed by Walz for a judgeship 2. Benton County just selected a new county attorney 2 days ago. Maybe we should be looking into that, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And so go ahead and click on that statute there, Dawson, because I want people to be able to see exactly what I'm referencing when I claim that there was a violation. So 375.08, which is the about county boards filling vacancies of county offices. And what it specifically says in here is that for that purpose, it shall meet at the usual place of meeting upon 1 day's notice from the chair or clerk, which shall be served personally upon each member in the same manner as a district court summons. So what that tells me right there is that each county commissioner is obligated to be informed 1 day in advance before the nomination or before a candidate, a vacancy is going to be filled. Each county commissioner is supposed to have that knowledge beforehand. That was not provided in the May 28th Itasca County Commissioner meeting because Commissioner Corey Smith was unaware of whether they were trying to move forward this nomination, which was the goal of the board at that time. And I got to say to the county commissioners that they were all very fair during the time of the county commissioner meeting. They allowed every single citizen who wanted to be able to speak their mind, and they didn't prevent anybody from speaking in any way. It was all completely run fairly, and I think they understood that, like I said, there was a big appetite for conservatives to fight this, and I got to say that there were some people there that aren't fans of Action for Liberty, but they understood that it was undeniable that we were the ones who exposed this. It was through Action for Liberty. And if I didn't have the platform of Action for Liberty to be able to put that article out there, to be able to reach out to our supporters, there's no way that we would have been successful in this. It's because we generated enough pressure to be able to get this momentum moving in the right direction.
It's a good victory of, you guys just going after Republicans, right?
Right.
That's the thing that the enemies on the right always say about Action for Liberty. They only attack Republicans. It's like, what?
Right.
The organization grew going after Tim Walz and his lockdown orders. Like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
And this is just a great victory against the leftists, right?
Right.
I think actually that's the thing about Action for Liberty is they go after leftists, both in the Republican and Democrat ranks.
Exactly.
Right? It's simple as that.
Right.
Status or elites, whatever you want to call these people that are really not doing us any good justice. Failed candidates, lawfare happens to conservatives at all levels. That's why this is so damn important.
Yep, definitely.
And if you're not from Itasca County, I get it. Like, oh, well, this doesn't directly affect me, but you can understand and appreciate that it could come to your county. We got to look at this Benton County. I didn't even know that, right? So that's interesting
absolutely.
stuff.
And,
so this is coming to everyone. And this, like, literally, Walker is – the trial got postponed because the Supreme Court just heard a similar case, so they're postponed to that. But literally is being prosecuted. Like, you talk to Sarah, his mother. Walker is just like a good, patriotic Minnesotan trying to do the right thing. He just became a Ford mechanic. Just happens to love guns. Oh, big deal. He loves guns. And he likes shooting guns. And he likes building guns. Okay? And I did too before I lost all my guns in that tragic boating accident. And it's like a cop, and I can't believe the sheriff's deputy did this, but reports him because it's not got a serial number, whatever the hell that means to them. It's just the most bogus charge. This shit can come all over the place. And of course, I don't need to tell you guys this in the audience, right? Look what happened to Trump in Manhattan, right? That's like, you just have to understand Manhattan, Atlanta, Georgia, Hennepin County, Minnesota. You're not gonna get good justice in those places, right? They are leftist zombie apocalypse. It's crazy. The towns are just falling to pieces. I'm not actually convinced, by the way, that you can have population centers like that with like good governance. I just don't think it works.
Right.
I think the way we should be operating is that, I mean, I like big cities for the architecture and for the art, but it just doesn't seem to work. It just seems like it just doesn't work in terms of governance. And you got to be in smaller towns. Anyhow, they want to take those crappy ideas that are ruining those big cities and implement them in places like Itasca County. And Jesse, I just got to say, it's what you did, what Action for Liberty did. Here, it's a major victory. And this can happen at every level. What you did works at every level of government, right?
Yep.
It just comes down to resources. You like what Jesse did here? You want to see this happen in St. Paul, Minnesota? Takes more operatives, more people showing up to the Capitol, more people calling their contacting the legislators. You want to see it happen in Washington, D.C.? Even more. So where you could do things for $1,000 at the county level, it's probably millions at the state, and unfortunately billions. That's why we don't fight in Washington, D.C., because it probably takes billions, hundreds of millions to affect change there. Don2448 says, what is happening in Itasca County will be in your county soon. I'm in a strong red county that is run by 5 liberals. I wish these nonpartisan races were partisan races. Exactly, Don. By the way, it would be good for people to be exposing these people running. I'm curious what county you live in, too. And I could probably guess. But, yes, it's coming to all these counties. It's a really huge ordeal. So you want to show some
Right,
footage?
and also, one quick point, too, it's that, out of, there's 87 counties in Minnesota. Only 10 of the incumbents in 2022 endorsed Keith Ellison. So that tells you that this guy is a complete radical, because that means that 77 other county attorneys either endorsed Schultz or were not willing to stick their name and reputation on the line for Ellison. This guy was willing to stick his neck on the line. And the more research I do into him, it looks like he was considered for a judge appointment by Mark Dayton in 2016. It looks like he was, one of the leaders in the movement to shut down all of the public access points for fishing on the Rainy River during COVID. I'm not sure if people remember that, but between Lake of the Woods County and Kukiching, how do you say that?
Kuchiking?
Regardless, they closed down all of the public access points to the river so that people couldn't put their boats out there.
You were
they
telling
couldn't
me,
go fishing.
Yeah, you were telling me, did we find this?
I haven't confirmed it yet, but it looks like they may have prosecuted someone on that law.
Okay, I really want to find that out.
Or I shouldn't even say law. It sounds like they might have prosecuted somebody on that. And as the county prosecutor during that time, it shows that he was a part of the lockdown mindset, and there were all kinds of problems within Lake of the Woods during that time. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was falling in line with Walz and Ellison on everything. But yeah, let's go ahead and go back to that article. I have it linked in there at the very top, Dawson. So
by the way, Jen, I saw your comment here. I don't know what she posted on, but I'm gonna have to cover that in the post show. Post show is for subscribers. If you want to be a subscriber, go to Rumble, click join, $8 a month. It's a really interesting thing she's talking about. Do you guys know about this secret GOP plan against Trump? There are two. So I can't answer that. It's going to take us too far off. So just stick around for the post show, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, and one other thing I forgot to mention during this whole thing, James Osted, this guy who had a public interview in front of the entire county commissioners, which that's what this is. It should be called a public job interview, because that's what his responsibility was. He had all of these people showing up that wanted to talk about the county attorney's race. There were, 30 to 35 patriots all showing up opposed to him. There was not a single person in support of James Osted. And guess what? He didn't even have the guts to show up to his own public job interview, where all of these people were there to discuss the county attorney's race. Jim Osted was nowhere to be seen, showing that he is obviously afraid of facing the people, and that's why he withdrew of this race too, because he was afraid of the pressure, and he realized that we were just getting started. So if Jim Osted thought that this was going to be the end of it, no way. No. We were starting to move these county commissioners, and if they would have continued, and if Osted wanted to force a vote on this, we were going to make sure that these county commissioners heard.
How would he force a vote on it? He's not even from the district.
Right, exactly. But if he would have continued his nomination, it sounds like some of the commissioners would have.
Once again, it's not his decision. He wanted that $185,000 paycheck.
Right.
In a different district.
Right, and that's the fun part. He was debating between $160,000 and $185,000, and now it's a big old fat zero. So he's getting nothing from Itasca County the way it always should have been. So yeah, go and click that link within that article.
Hold on
there,
one second. We finally got first time our new regular to this show, Larry Longbeard, showing up massively late. But I know you're doing good work, Larry Longbeard, so I'm not gonna give you too much shit. But
doing lots of work.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, look at that shirt.
Rambo.
Yeah. I disagree with that. I got some beef with that guy right now. I got a little bit of beef.
What's that?
Maybe I'll tell you off air. Or maybe I'll talk. No, we'll talk about in the post show, because we talked about the other day in the post show. I'm not seeing Rambo from him, by the way. Not quite seeing that. Anyhow, what do you got in that bag?
Well, I wasn't able to get any premium chicken wings, so we're eating today Cub Foods chicken wings like a common peasant.
Okay. We actually have an official wing sponsor. The problem is you didn't contact her quick enough, and you were running late. Oh, my God, Jay Last, $10. Here's a Rumble rant. Thanks for reading my comment, Jake. I can't stay, but I'll give you a rant anyway. Okay, well, thanks, Jay Last. Yeah, I just can't get on that comment while we're on this subject. I'm sorry about that. It's a really interesting thing, and I just don't want to action it live. But thank you so much. Mary Kay, hello, everyone, and hello to you, BDGJC. Well done, Jesse. K-Wall for life. Cheers. Cheers to you, K-Wall for life, and your better half, T-Wall, if you're out there watching. Dave's Right says hello as well. This is the show. I love the show. It's all a great fans and audience here who show up more on time than our new regular, Paul Tushy. eating his wings out of a Cub Foods bag. It's just unbelievable. You're one of a kind, Paul. One of a kind, Mr. Liberty Longbeard. All right, Jesse, let's get to this video here. Let's see what people are saying.
Yeah, so, like I said, the county commissioners meeting is posted online for everybody to be able to see, but there was a few moments within there that I thought were pretty interesting, and also just wanted to, give some credit where credit's due to all the patriots who showed up. And like I said, there was a wide variety of opinions on Action for Liberty. There's some people that really don't like me that, but that's okay because I told them, we're all on the same page for this one. Let's just, move forward as a single unit because we all had one thing in common: oppose Jim Osted.
Did you unify the Republicans? Is that what happened?
I think I unified the conservatives in that moment. It was pretty exciting.
Right.
So yeah, let's go ahead and check that out, Dawson. It's the first link within there.
Oh, look at that young strapping fella! And by the way, look at that. I now call it the Jesse shirt, the Dump Wall shirt, because you made that shirt so famous. By the way, I did
in
design
Itasca.
It. I designed that, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I designed it. You're the one that got a picture with Tim Walz wearing that shirt. So, all right, let's watch this video.
I live in Itasca, and I have family that does, so I'm up here as often as I can be. I love being up north, and unlike other non-residents of Itasca County, I am not asking you for $185,000 a year. I am asking you to oppose James Ostad's nomination for county attorney. I'm the writer of the Action for Liberty article that I've sent all of you guys. Sure you guys are aware of the issues that I raised. And I don't think you guys are corrupt, but I think some major mistakes were made at the May 28th meeting. Minnesota Statute 375.08 sets the procedure and requirements for filling vacancies of elected county officials. And namely, it requires a one-day notice to all the county commissioners for appointing candidates, and it should be served personally. Unfortunately, this was not done at the May 28th meeting because Commissioner Corey Smith had to ask Chair Johnson what the intent was of this motion, and Johnson stated it was to either table or pass the motion. And since the scorecard, which was created by Venema, Dasovich, and the local attorney Chad, that was also not provided to the county commissioners until your guys' meeting live on May 28th. Minnesota Statute 375.08 requires that one-day notice. Since the county commissioners were not given that one-day notice, and there was also a lack of legal notice in the newspapers where the citizens of Itasca County were not informed of this county appointment, and the notice for this meeting had no mention of Ostad or the county attorney appointment at all. Because of that, the nomination of James Ostad was illegitimate, and it should be considered null and void. And when we look at the political implications of this too, that I call him Antifa Keith Ellison. Antifa Keith Ellison, James Ostad was an attorney for him, endorsed him in 2022. He was a former Lake of the Woods County attorney before he quit and took a job with Keith Ellison for more money. He's a non-resident of Itasca County, and he is now demanding $185,000 for a year for a job he doesn't have. I think that's pompous, and I think that's arrogant. I don't think that anybody has the authority to come up and demand salaries from you guys. I don't think that government public servant positions should be negotiable. And so the plan moving forward should be, number one, to remove the consideration of James Ostad. Number two, reconsider the options. Number three, allow for public input and present a public forum. And number four, move forward with a new nomination. This is your guys' chance to do the right thing, set the course to where the residents of Itasca County are happy. There's obviously a lot of dissatisfaction in this room, and I don't think that you guys are radical socialists who want Keith Ellison. I think that this was an oversight, and I'm asking you guys to correct course, and you can do that today by rejecting the nomination of James Ostad.
Oh, my God.
And I'd take any questions if you guys have it.
It's almost like they planned that pan out, That,
right.
Wasn't that great?
It was pretty perfect. And there's a guy after me. I just want to give him a little bit of credit here because, Dawson, it's not too far after me. It's
but
literally the next
we
guy.
have Love Minnesota saying Jesse looks like a very young blonde Christopher Reeve. For those youngsters like Jesse, that is who played Superman back,
I'll
what
take
was that,
it.
the 70s, 60s, or 70s?
Was he the one, the paraplegic? Is that
Yeah,
that one?
well, yeah, obviously he had a diving accident and then he became a paraplegic, but yeah. Yeah, no, that's, you look good there. Do you know that? I mean,
Thank you.
I don't know how much that's going to work on the ladies, but if you just I don't know how the dating apps work, but if they're like, send me profile, I don't know, shit, I really don't know how this works. You should just send that video and they'd be like, oh, that would be like, if they don't like that, you just weeded out the one you don't really want, right?
As long as you set your range to not Minneapolis, you'll probably be
right.
fine.
No, but I honestly, I got to hand it to ICTV because, like I said, I'm saying they got a great website, this and that, but I mean, look at what they did.
ICTV's like, oh my God, there's a guy under 60 talking about us.
And,
oh, wow.
And you know what? Like, the fact that they did that pan out and everything, where they, I thought it was awesome, too, because they're showing all the dissatisfied people in the room for me right there because, all those people that are in the crowd, like I said, there wasn't a single person of that bunch who was there saying, I support Jim Austin. There wasn't a single person who wanted him. The only person who wanted him was Keith Ellison. Besides that, all the people of Itasca County said, we're not on board with this. And this was only 2 days' notice after our story came out. Imagine if we had a week of preparation. Imagine if we had 2 weeks. So we knew that the next meetings were going to be filled. And I'm calling on the Itasca County Patriots to continue to stay active in this process.
Yes.
Because
Get the right person.
I'm not exactly sure what the county commissioner's plan is going to be moving forward because they're probably going to debate whether they want to hold an election, whether they want to appoint someone in the interim. I've heard different discussions that are underway. There were 3 other candidates who applied. The big guy in the back on the right side there, his name is John DeMitch. He was one of the candidates who applied for it. There was another guy, Todd Webb. There was a younger guy, Jacob Faucheld, who had also applied. I've heard various different things about them, and I don't know enough about any of them to say I support any single one of them. I'm not sure if any of them would go as far as I would on plenty of things, but I am very happy that we were able to stop the nomination of James Ostad. And yeah, the guy that speaks after me, he goes into what a carpetbagger exactly is, and it was such a good speech.
Give me a second
I'd
here.
also like to hear it.
Let me, while Dustin finds that, EQ says it's horse riding accident. I stand corrected here. I think that's right. I don't remember. What was the high-profile diving accident that I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of somebody. But, yeah, I think that's right. It's a horse-riding accident. And then EQ says that was a very, very well-spoken and presented.
Thank you.
K-Wall is asking if William's coming back this summer. William has a full-time gig, and it's just too far away from here to make two. So if we do an evening show, he's got a better chance. Mm-hmm. He's got a young family. He had a kid. He got married and he had a kid. And a new full-time job. It's unfortunate. We just haven't grown fast enough to hire him full-time. William would have worked so quickly full-time for Truth Hurts News LLC if we were at that stage. But, unfortunately, there are better offers out there. And I told him to take that other offer, by the way. Don't think it's backstabbing. I'm like, dude, go take that job. What's up, Dawson?
He probably would have been on time, too.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what it would be like having – another gig where you work over 40 hours a week and you're as far away as Newport. I mean,
that is true. That's why.
If I would have been as close as Newport and had worked as little as 40 hours a week, I would have been on time.
That's fair. I said I didn't want to. That was Dawson, by the way. I gave you a little shit right off the bat, but then again, I know what you're doing.
Yeah, so
you do a lot of things. You have like 3 full-time jobs.
So I had somebody call me who's out in the field doing some canvassing and sent me a picture, and right away I made a response to it was a small group chat, and I made a response to him. I'm like, let me check into this and I'll get back to you. So my phone rings and I'm walking in the door. I got this huge box of stuff. I'm trying to get in the door here. I answer the phone. I said, I only got a second. He goes, I know. I'm waiting for you to get on the podcast. Like, well, why are you calling me? Then why are you calling me right now? He goes, well, I just wanted to say. So he tells me what he's going to say. I said, all right, I'll talk to you about it after the show.
Man. Yeah, trying to wreck us. That's what's going on. A lot of wrecking going on here. And now our official wing sponsor doesn't even get a shout out today.
Well, I spoke with our official wing sponsor this morning.
Well, we could say Quinny's. Quinny's is going to be our official wing sponsor, okay?
Another person who's working very hard and just didn't have enough time to connect. She and I are both.
Janice didn't?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, we spoke this
you know
morning,
what just happened? Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, Janice is awesome. She's a patriot. Speaking of patriots, the patriot Carla Nelson, not to be confused with the Senator Carla Nelson, is our new shipping sponsor. This is a locally owned business, Yes Solutions. Yes, meaning your easy shipping solutions, but yes, you want to go with them. If you're shipping a pallet or a whole truckload, you got to give Carla. She says give Kyle a call today. Who's Kyle, Carla? We don't know Kyle. Kyle's probably. We want to call the Patriot Carla Nelson if we're going to use Yes Solutions for your pellet needs. Just kidding. She says call Kyle. Maybe this is Kyle's cell phone. 651-797-2451. once again, supporting a patriot. They ship through Canada and the U.S. Whether it's one pallet, whether it's one pallet or multiple truckloads, we take the hassle out of shipping. Yes Solutions. Give Kyle a call today, or the Patriot, Carl Nelson, 651-797-2451. Do we have the video of this guy talking about carpetbagging?
I think that.
Yep.
Or as we call it, Jim Newbergering into a district.
Yep, that's our guy.
Sim. All right. This might need to be scrubbed forward or backwards. Just let me know.
Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Great city of Cohasset, Minnesota, represented by Mr. Corey Smith out of District 1. Hopefully I don't embarrass Mr. Smith today. I'm going to start out by going back to our old history lesson. The term carpetbagger. By definition, carpetbaggers, a northerner who went south after the Civil War for political and financial advantage. An outsider, especially a politician who presumptuously seeks a position or success in new locality. Jim Osted is an outsider, having no permanent residence in Itasca County. Jim Osted is, by definition, a carpetbagger, by the very definition, seeking both political and financial gain here in Itasca County. And that comes at the endorsement of another operative, Keith Ellison, a Michigan native, by the way. That kind of smells of political advantage. So I'm going to appropriately term Mr. Osted as carpetbagger. Jim Osted is requesting an unsustainable salary request of $185,000 from the county taxpayers, which is financial advantage. This is darn near 3 times the annual income, household income, being only $6,886 short. And these are based on a Google search this morning of Itasca County median household income of 2018 through 2022.
But yeah, that's good right there, Dawson. It was
63,000.
mainly the carpetbagger comment. And then also, if we want to go to Dawson, it's the minus 59.50, right around in there. You'll be able to find another good, right there. That's my grandma's cousin, Myron Patro, and he made sure to show up and show support for us. And his issue with this was something that we've talked about on the show is the 10 Commandments that were painted in the jail facility that were painted over. He is making the argument for why there is not a separation of church and state within the Constitution, and that it was 100% allowed, and that he thinks the county has been getting faulty legal advice. And as I was sitting there hanging out with Myron, I was telling him, if we get Jim Osted, you know what he'd say? Repaint those walls. Yeah. And so there were a lot of local issues that are going on with Itasca County where they knew that if they have a liberal lawyer as the one who's in charge and that's not held accountable to anyone, not even the voters because they didn't even vote for him, they knew it would be a problem. So I just want to give Myron a chance to be able to get some of this out there too.
Myron Patro at 2367 at 9 at Stark Road, Cohasset. I would like to ask you, one, have you ever read the Constitution? Because the Constitution, you know how it starts off. Minnesota Constitution starts the same way. And Minnesota does not have a state law of separation, church and state. You've been lied to. Please don't swallow that lie, because it's wrong. The only constitution that has separation of church and state is Russia. You need to read the Constitution. I'm sorry, General.
I was just having this conversation with Bridget I think it was after the show.
Maybe
it was in the post show. That the term wall of separation, and the left just loves using it. It's not in the Constitution. It's interesting. It's literally, people think that all the time. It was actually from a letter to the Danbury Baptists by Thomas Jefferson, because the Baptists were a minority group during the founding of this country, and he was ensuring them that there's a separation of church and state when it comes to your free exercise of religion, them fearing the fact that, hey, us as a religious minority in the Christian world don't want to have our rights revoked or taken away because we're a minority group.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with you can't say the 10 Commandments. My God, it's so bastardized by these guys. Plus, by the way, the First Amendment applies to the U.S. Congress making laws Razzle Dazzle's in the comment section. I'll have to catch up. The first 40 minutes later tonight, you will, and you want to hear. I'm telling you, Razzle Dazzle, you're going to want to hear Jesse's speech. That was the first time I heard it, by the way. I didn't see this.
But you can see it that freedom is in my family's blood. You know, throughout generations, we're all on the same page. And, you know, I had other family members.
All of them in their family,
pretty
Jesse?
much. I mean, for the most part. And everybody's got an anti-authoritarian streak to them. Everybody doesn't like corruption. So they knew when, you know, the Smiths are involved. You better watch out because, you know, we come, you know, there's a lot of us up there. And once we start to smell the corruption out, we know that we have to stand up to it. And the fact that we were able to block Jim Osted, huge win for Action for Liberty, huge win for us, huge win for the conservatives of Itasca County because they need to stay on it. They need to stay vigilant. But they now have been, you know, because of our exposure on Jim Osted, they will not have him as the county attorney. So I'm happy that we were able to get this victory for Itasca.
Okay, let's go to this next story here. We can pop back up on that. We'll do a little bit more in the post show as well. Frontline worker pay. You guys remember this back during COVID. The heroes, the frontline workers, right, that are working around the clock. And by the way, a lot of good frontline workers were heroes, no doubt about it, until it came to vaccine mandates. And then about 20-30% of nursing staff were no longer heroes. They needed to go. Their jobs. You're killing grandma. You saved grandma for the last year and a half, but now you refuse to get this experimental shot in your arm. You're no longer a hero. Now, I think they still counted on the frontline worker pay bill. It was $500 million. And I think if I remember this right at the time, they were thinking like it was going to be, I don't know, like $500 per frontline worker. I might have that wrong, but it was $500 million total that was given to a frontline worker pay. So a state auditor, the legislative auditor, found that there was massive fraud and waste that went into this program, actually quite a bit to the point where it was nearly 40%. It's a $500 million program, as I said. They're saying like up to $200 million of it went to ineligible recipients or people just literally committing fraud. So these are the conclusions that was found from the report. The first finding, the Department of Labor and Industry and Revenue approved frontline worker payments to applicants who were not eligible and to the applicants whose eligibility we could not determine. Leave that to government to literally dole out your money, by the way, to people not even eligible to the program. Finding number 2, the Department of Labor and Industry approved frontline worker payments to individuals whose applications contain fraud indicators without investigating whether the applicants were legitimate. You know, you kind of assume when there's an agency tasked with something like carrying out a program that there would be fraud checks. And to the point where they actually know how to do these things and they just literally don't. It's unreal. I kind of wonder if... no, I'm not going to say that. Finding number 3. The Department of Revenue did not verify the adjusted gross income for all applicants. I couldn't remember this, but that must mean the leftists were like, these heroes of the frontline workers, they are great people. We need to give money to them, except for if they make over $180,000 a year. Now you're no longer a hero. We can't give you money. Like,
yeah.
It's like, and by the way, they're the ones paying more taxes than the other ones. So I don't even remember this being means tested, but apparently, yeah, unless it was that
Jim Austin couldn't get that money then, right? You said over 180?
Yeah, good. Well, now he could.
Yeah, now he can.
Finding number 4, the Department of Labor and Industry and Minnesota Information Technology Services did not ensure that the contractor and some subcontractors retained frontline worker pay data in accordance with the contract provisions. Okay, just massive incompetency of government, massive fraud, people that are taking advantage of a program, and then just ineligible people getting through the system, taking money away for what we would all have considered heroic people, except for those 30% that didn't want to take that experimental jab. Those people, they should be in prison. They were, if they go to the hospital with a heart attack, we know not to give those guys care, right? Was that Jimmy Kimmel that said that? Can't remember. Do you remember that? That was Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel.
Did what?
He was like, well, we know how to solve this problem if there's overruns in the ERs. Look at the people who didn't get the vaccination and don't administer them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Asshole.
I think Howard Stern said something similar, but
Howard Stern was terrible.
Yeah, you'd figure that, hopefully that stuff was just emotional people being worked up and not actually meaning it. But yeah, I mean, there was a time when the leftists were willing to say that, there were polls out there that showed that a decent amount of Democrats were willing to say that we need concentration camps of the unvaccinated. So luckily, now pretty much everyone knows the vaccine was sold as something it wasn't, that it didn't get the job done, that it's causing all kinds of vaccine injuries for people. So I think even the leftists are backing down from their vaccine pushes.
Well, yeah, now, right?
Yeah,
now
now.
they are. Big whoop.
Yeah.
By the way, I didn't follow up Andrew Cuomo, Governor Andrew Cuomo, former Governor Andrew Cuomo was on Capitol Hill. It's actually kind of interesting. Tushi, you're interacting with probably more people these days at the door and stuff. I feel people have kind of done a mini vacation. I think this is normal at this time of year, but like mini vacation, like literally have stopped following politics to a large degree. And I'm not just saying like the typical person, which really doesn't follow politics till like October, but I'm saying even like somewhat active people in politics. Does that seem fair? Do you get this same thing, or do you see people being fired up right now?
Well, I mean, it's primary season, so.
Well, not really. I mean, primary season for us, but not
For us,
like.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you're asking about talking to people at the door.
Yeah.
Everybody that I talk to, that's like the general people, not not activists, like that I'm working with and involved with. I mean, people are largely clueless. They're just, they know Trump and Biden, and that's about it.
And that's what I was thinking is like Trump is definitely, people are paying attention to that story, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I just get the feeling that, I don't know, like the story on Andrew Cuomo going to Capitol Hill. I mean, do people even know right now that the FBI director, was it the FBI? No, I'm sorry, Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland was found, or was he found in contempt? No, he wasn't found in contempt of Congress. What am I trying to say here? The congressional leaders, did they put forward a motion? See, this is the problem. I'm in the news. I'm supposed to know the story. They were trying to find him guilty of contempt of Congress. Holy crap. I should have done my homework on this one. Shut up, failed candidate. I know what you're thinking here. Show prep, yes. Better show prep. I didn't know I was going to talk about this. You know what I'm talking about? Did you look at the story, Jesse? Obviously, you were busy with Itasca.
Yeah, not enough. No.
Oh, man. Big egg on my face. Contempt of Congress. Now I have to look it up. Because I only was reading the headline. Republicans vote to hold Garland in contempt of Congress. I don't know what you call that. I guess just held a vote, but what does that mean? Like, where does it go from here? It's okay, so the Hill reports Congress holds Merrick Garland in contempt. So, I guess it still gets kicked to I don't know how that works. I should know. It doesn't happen too often. But, yeah, literally, Merrick Garland now being held in contempt of Congress for withholding information about Biden and Hunter Biden. Okay. Okay, there we go. Fox News has got a headline. This makes more sense. House votes to hold Garland in contempt, refer him for criminal charges at own Department of Justice. Okay. It's an interesting world out there. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's go to... All right, so this is the story I really want to talk about. Actually, let's get rid of the Nicole Mitchell thing because this is real simple. Pull up this article from NPR, Dawson. Nicole Mitchell was supposed to have a hearing. I think it was on June 10th. Is that right? June 10th or 11th? Mm-hmm. So she 10th. Was having another court hearing. It was an omnibus hearing. There she is with her lawyer. This hearing did not happen. Sorry, Tucker's got a rumble rant. Harsh words, but no action, like usual, says Tucker. I think he's referring to Congress's actions there, and fair point.
Right.
So Nicole Mitchell, the burglar, decided, or they made a motion. Her attorneys made a motion because there's a scheduling conflict, and so they pushed back the next court hearing till July. And so then subsequently the ethics panel, which is made up of 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans, pushed back any decision on Nicole Mitchell in terms of
So is that the guy that was with her for the Senate ethics meeting then?
Yeah, he didn't do the talking,
because that's
though.
obviously not Bruce Ringstad or whoever that older guy was that was her attorney. I imagine that, right? So maybe he works for the same agency.
No, they do. They work for the same thing.
Right. So he's a lawyer underneath.
No. I looked these guys up. That guy actually was a Democrat. I think he worked for like intern with a North Dakota Democrat. Yeah. So there you go. So anyhow, I guess this story lives on July. She's not stepping down, by the way. So
Yeah, so if she would have stepped down by what, the 10th was it? Sunday, Monday, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Monday,
8th. I think it was 8th. It was last Friday.
She would have stepped down. They would have had an election in Woodbury for during the same time as the presidential election, where there's, I think, according to the Secretary of State, the official numbers. I don't know if MAGA Jesse is going to subscribe to those numbers, but I think in 2020, 79.96% of registered voters voted in Minnesota in the presidential election. You know, I know that I've been canvassing many times where I've seen voters that are in the Secretary of State as having voted, and you know their spouse says, "Oh, they passed away 6 years ago," things like that. But anyway, where there's 80% turnout, and in Woodbury, 80% turnout would have probably solidified that seat, but she's not willing to give up her seat. So now if she goes to, you know, she has to do some prison time or whatever for, I mean, if we're to believe, you know, take her at her word, and I'll take Nicole Mitchell at her word, when she admitted to burglary on her Facebook page, you know, and she admitted to committing first-degree burglary, said that, yes, I broke into my, you know, stepmother's home through the window in the middle of the night, and I took things that weren't mine and committed first-degree burglary. I mean, a confession right there on Facebook. I'll take her at her word and accept that she did, in fact, commit first-degree burglary. So if she is, you know, has to do some prison time, then we get a special election. Well, it's like another chance. There'll be one state Senate seat on the ballot this fall for Morrison out in the, you know, CD3, Lake Minnetonka
Dawson,
area.
pull up F-17, by the way, because now that he's bringing up Morrison, there is a special election, as you're alluding to.
It's a special election.
This is why I love having you guys. You guys are legit political experts. People don't realize this stuff, but here is the candidate filings.
There's 3 Democrats and a Republican.
4, actually. Look at that.
really?
Yeah, it grew.
4.
Yeah, there's so it says, I'm sorry, 3. You're right.
Yeah.
Kyle Jasper Minen, Emily Wrighton, and Ann Johnson Stewart. So 3 Democrats. I stand corrected. 3. Oh, by the way, this dude put his Instagram on there. That's a total Jesse move there. Jesse put his Facebook page.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you got
so-
3 candidates. So I just assume since it's Instagram, it means he's not really that serious.
And I'd put my withdrawal paperwork any day up against Ostad's. I think my withdrawal from office was much better. Much better.
Oh, this is hilarious. Go ahead and click on the Instagram of that guy.
Yeah.
He has 0 posts, like almost no followers, and he's a he/him.
There we go.
I see that Joe Frazier's a he/him.
Yes!
He lists his pronouns there. You know, so
Yes.
Wait, did he? Where?
What is that? LinkedIn?
I think it's LinkedIn, yeah, or something like
Wow.
that.
Yeah, he's on Wells Fargo. He's got he/him.
Wow.
I keep getting emails from him, by the way. I don't know why the state party just allows him to keep using the list and doesn't, you know, doesn't step in and say, hey, we gave you this list because you pledged to use it for only seeking the endorsement, not keep trying to raise money off me
Okay.
5 times a week.
This is-
running against the endorsed candidate.
I've got a little more limited time today's show. I got to finish this at probably about an hour, and then we got about 15 minutes for the post show. If you want to be part of the post show, we're going to have some good stuff on that, by the way. Go to Rumble. If you're on Rumble, just click join. $8 a month, help support the show. You get stuff you won't hear anywhere else. That's where Liberty Longbeard really goes off the rails. It's so good.
Well, I will be.
Hey, by the way, someone's like, you got Liberty Longbeard. How are you going to keep him on leash, or how are you going to control Liberty Longbeard? I'm like, I just have to have the show go forward. I don't need to control you. I want you to go wild. I want you to do. I want you to be yourself on the show. Well, okay, I heard myself saying that. We might have to control you a little bit, Liberty Longbeard.
So I'm going to be in Senator Mitchell's district tomorrow, by the way.
yeah?
With some operatives. So we might see some signs and some.
I love it.
things. So yeah.
You are a true patriot. Love Minnesota. Rumble Rant, $20. Douche needs a fancy wing straight
Yes.
for the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, holy hell, that's a great idea. By the way, that is a business write-off. So,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, if Morrison, that seat, now that she's resigned, that will be on the election ballot. It's a special election, but the same day as the presidential election. So
Correct.
it's one chance for the Republicans to get a 34th senator. If they fail there, then if Mitchell goes to prison, then they get the special election, get another shot there. So
She's going to run from prison. You know, you can do that.
I really quick gotta ask Tushi, this sauce
yes,
that you're making, is it going to be spicy?
which sauce is what sauce now?
the Liberty Longbeard sauce.
Has this been announced? Is this a
No,
thing?
it hasn't.
Okay.
And by the way, that's for the post show. Razzle Dazzles, not Rumble. Locals. Like, yeah, but you go to Rumble, you just click on join. That's the best. It's hard for me to tell you. Go to locals / blah blah blah. Just go to our Rumble page, and if you click join, then you get our members only.
It should be
thing
right
on local.
below.
These
the
wings
video
were only mildly spicy that I had today, but if you have spicy wings, you would want milk. But if you got just mildly spicy wings, you can go with water in a Retire Rhino Ron water bottle.
You're one of a kind, Tushy. I want to talk about this real quick. You got an article you just posted on Action for Liberty, Jesse. Let's bring this up. This is Royce
Not
White's.
published yet, so
And
this
you got a
is
hot take on
just
Royce
for
White's.
people's eyes first.
We'll have to do this in the post show too. You got a hot take on Royce White's campaign expenditures at a strip club, so that will be in the post show as well. Boy, how am I going to keep this post show quick? I got to keep it quick, but we're going to cover a lot. Post show. Go to Rumble, click on join, and then there goes logos. What's this article on actionforliberty.com that you got here, Jesse?
Yeah, Dawson, go ahead and pull it up. It is on line 15 there, and people can see that a MNGOP party leader, Michelle Benson, who ran the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, is now backstabbing the MNGOP state delegates by endorsing Joe Frazier. So she apparently thinks that party endorsements do not matter. And that's a lovely picture of the beautiful Michelle Benson. And, she's known pretty well as an establishment rhino because she had a failed run for governor in 2022 that was so embarrassing where she fell flat on her face. I don't know if you guys remember the commercials that she made, but they were bad. And I've tried to find them after the fact. She scrubbed them off the internet. She doesn't want that out there anymore where she was pretending like she was fun at a party like Elizabeth Warren. And
I do remember that.
Right.
Oh, that was so dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
So Michelle Benson scrubbed those things from the internet. Otherwise, I'd have them linked in this article here. But, Michelle Benson is putting it out there that she doesn't support the endorsed candidate. She's out there supporting, Joe Frazier, Rhino Joe Frazier. Go ahead and scroll down a little bit,
He
Dawson.
keeps sending me fundraising emails with the parties to list.
Exactly. And how
and
does
plus,
he have that
I
party
just got
email
this
list?
email from Joe Frazier, and it's like, I'm endorsed by Tim Polini, Rudy Boschwitz, and Norm Coleman. I go, that alone tells me I don't want to support you. Like, great, the biggest rhinos in Minnesota. That's not helping your case. I don't know who. Like, why even bother to email that out? Who's that really getting on your side?
Right.
Like, the primary voters in Minnesota rejected Tim Polini pretty hardcore in 2018. Mm-hmm. And Norm Coleman, I don't think there's a lot of love for him.
Right.
out there.
I mean, Jeff Johnson's win there, that's pretty legendary. And so what people can see here is that MNGOP Chair David Hand appointed Michelle Benson as the Constitution and Bylaws Chair to make all the rules for the party. Benson is a former senator who ran a failed governor campaign with support so abysmal that she withdrew before the state convention even started. In her role as Constitution and Bylaws Chair, Benson supported several rules that made it easier for the establishment to kick out grassroots delegates if they are deemed, quote, immoral. And you can see that specific rule right there where it says members of the MNGOP delegation are expected to act with integrity, specifically when serving in an office, delegate, or alternate position. As a candidate for office, an individual may be subject to discipline who acts in an immoral or illegal manner, commits physical violence against another, or seriously threatens another. Such discipline may include anything from a private reprimand, loss of delegate status, loss of position, to a ban from participating in the party. So that she was in support of a rule that gave the ability for party leaders to be able to ban someone from the party, ban their delegate status that they were duly elected to, just because they are deemed immoral. I mean, give me a break. Are we supposed to treat these people like they're moral? I mean, for example, Michelle Benson, she's a party leader that's supposed to be abiding by the endorsement. It seems to me that it's quite immoral to do that. Joe Frazier, he's lied to the delegates. He told them all. He told us that he was going to abide by the endorsement. Well, up until he loses, then all of a sudden he wants to back out of his word. So in the same way, could we say that that's immoral, that he needs to be banned from the party? I'm not into banning people from the party. I just think that people should be mans of their word. And the fact that Joe Frazier is not willing to be a man of his word, and that he's more worried about the Ukrainian border than the U.S. southern border, tells me everything I need to know about him.
But she thinks it's immoral to support someone with campaign finance books that say you got food from the Gold Rush Cabaret in Miami, Florida.
Yep.
Or Cabaret? Did I have that right? Gold Rush?
Something like that.
That is
And
it.
yeah, I linked the video
looked
of
up to see if
what
they
she
had,
puts in there, which obviously Royce White disputes what she puts out in there.
Well, we
because
got
Michelle Benson is,
Tushy's Hot Wings hot take on that in the post show. We thank our sponsors today. By the way, Alpine Cabinetry in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Also, we have Warren Wessel of Warren Wessel Realty. Give Warren a call. The number is 612-419-7453 if you're buying or selling a home. And if you're buying a home, our good friends at John Galt Mortgage Company. Give them a chance of financing the home. JohnGaltMortgage.com. All your shipping solutions is at Yes Solutions, run by the Patriot Carla Nelson. Give them a call at 651-797-2451. Let's do the post show. If you want to join us there, we would love to have you. Help show support for what we're doing here in Minnesota. Go to Rumble, click on join, and join us in Locals. We'll be there in 1 minute. Take care.